guys, back out on the water today. Caught a little bit of bait there this time in the creek. I ain't got as long today, but I've got more bait. Pretty nice little bait ball up underneath the boat there. I think that's what it was. If not, a nice piece of structure. I'm up here past it about 15-20 yards, drop the anchor, let it drift back a little bit, and I'm gonna throw some of these smaller shad, and I've got two really big creek chub. One of them's too big to use whole. Well, I mean, not really, but to catch a fish. And down here right now, I feel like I have a better chance cutting it in half, and it gives me more bait. So yeah, I'm gonna throw some poles off the back of the boat, and we're sitting in about 30 foot of water, and hopefully something will grab it down there. They're not super small either. You can catch a nice fish on a shad about like that. Make them look as natural as possible. Just throw them out there whole like this. These combos I'm using, this one's quite old. These are the St. Croix Mojo Cats. They've been my lucky rods for the past 2 or 3 years. Definitely caught most of my fish on them. It's not a giant. I thought it was a little bit bigger than that, but it'd be a good for 2 pieces of bait here. 40-pound test, big game trilene on all my poles. Probably one of the cheapest lines you could use, but they get the job done. Alrighty. I will just wait and see what happens. It's like 82 degrees today, the hottest day we've had so far this year. The water temperature has changed a lot since the last week. I mean, since the last time I came out, I think it was about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I believe it was like in the low 50s. Now we're at like 56, so we're getting closer to the high 50s. So the flathead bite should be about ready to spike. I would say the flatheads are really about ready to start turning on. Hopefully we catch one here. Got a fish on here, got him wrapped up around something down there. Sit down there for a few, see if he pops off. There we go. The fish is still in there. Just a little guy, I think. Hard to tell with that snag that was on there. Just a little old guy. They're just a little old channel cat wrapped around about a 250-pound log out there. He actually ate that little creek chub I had. Fun little guys to catch. Oh, let's put you back in here. Try to put a couple of these shad in here and see if we can get some more bites. Going to be doing a little bit of catfishing today. The water is very choppy. Some crazy winds coming through here. You can see water is no joke, especially in my little boat here. But I am sitting in about 15 foot of water. Until this wind calms down, I'm just going to suspend some poles off the side of the boat here, and I'll show you what bait we've got. We've got some good sized bluegill. A couple of them's died off on me. Some of them swallowed my hook. Probably cut them up, but for the most part we're going to be fishing with the golden bait, live bluegill. Suspended off the side to start out. Later on I might anchor up, but until this stuff calms down a little bit, I think I'm just gonna suspend. We'll see if we can pick some fish up. Let's get some poles out and see what happens. A little bit of trouble standing up here. Let me shut this motor off real quick so you can hear me. We're drifting around a little bit to kind of between 14 17 foot of water. The anchor is down. I think it's holding. But if I can stand up long enough on here, then I might be able to get the poles down. Well, that's what they're going to look like. Got him hooked right through the back of his top fin there. Just probably about a 1/4 inch down. We're gonna put him off the side. We might actually catch a flathead. It's with this bait, man, bluegill is in my opinion, a flathead favorite. I might as well just cut one in half here and throw him out there. There we go, bluegill head, half the body. And now the wind slowed down a little bit, so I can kind of throw one out there and see how it works out. Guys, bluegill is one of my favorite baits to use. A lot of people don't use bluegill, and a lot of people do. But for the longest time, I didn't either because I thought it was illegal to use them. I was always told you can't use bluegill, but it turns out you're actually allowed to use them as long as they're caught legally, rod and reel, which these were. So, as I said earlier, it's a golden bait. I've caught a lot of big fish. My biggest fish I've ever caught's been on bluegill. I like using a bloody old skipjack or some shad, but it seems this stuff's never let me down either, so we'll give it a chance. Get these bluegill on some fresh water here. They're starting to die off on me because the water's so hot. Should feel a lot better in here, guys. Yeah. All right, so I had to suspend every one of the poles I've got. The one I had thrown off the back anchored up didn't end up working out. This isn't the typical way that I like to fish, but what can you do? I mean, I guess I could buy a bigger boat. What's the fun in that? I am seeing some marks on the bottom. A couple fish have kind of went up underneath the boat. Looked like some pretty good ones, pretty thick marks. Just kind of come in and check out, see what's going on. Maybe that cut bluegill head, because it might be a little early for a full-size live bluegill. If I was going to guess, if we're going to catch anything, it's going to be on cut bait, but I don't know. Oh, there's a fish. Those little taps sometimes can be pretty big fish. You can't really let them fool you. Give them a second and see if you'll take the bait. First fish I've ever caught on the slime cat rod. It came on half a bluegill, I think the lower half. Really don't feel too bad. We're hoping for a flatty, and I think that's what we got. Man, I gotta love the bend of these rods. Alright guys, there we go. That's my first flathead of the year right there. Nice little guy. Not very big, but all in all, he's a pretty nice fish. Man, really miss catching these guys. Slowed down for me a lot. I haven't caught a whole lot of flatheads in the past few years, so even when I catch a smaller one, I'm pretty happy about it. Alright, so I anchored up in a little bit deeper water. I'm at about 25 foot, and I'm able to cast off the back of the boat. I found a little bit heavier of a current seam and a bunch of mud. Actually, it's more of a mud seam. I guess current seam, they go hand in hand. But it's kind of put me on the fish here a little bit. Hopefully get some bigger ones. Just in case y'all are wondering about the little net I'm using, I got this here at Field and Stream. It's got, I think it's mostly used for kayak fishing, but you can actually, it's a little bigger than what it looks at a distance. I'd say you could fit probably a 35 pound fish in here if you've done it right, but anything over that, I think you're going to have a little bit of trouble. I've got my grippers on board. If I have to, I'll just pull them in by hand where it's a smaller boat, I try not to put my big net on the boat. Unless I ain't carrying live bait with me and tackle box and all that stuff, then I'd be fine. Slowed down a little bit here, so I'm gonna go on down river here and see if I can pick up on another spot, maybe catch something else. It's the last place I'm going to fish today. I probably tried 6 or 7 different spots. When you're not filling a spot, the best thing you can do is move, especially if you ain't getting any bites, anything like that. It's totally different out here right now. I wish it would have been like this all day. Not very deep right here. We're going to set up for the night a little bit. I've said I was going to stop probably 5 or 6 times. And I'm tired of these one fish trips. Alright guys, that was the last 2 trips that I had went catfishing. It seems the last 4 trips I've literally caught 1 fish per trip. I haven't been skunked yet this year, but pretty close. You can't get much closer than 1 fish per trip unless you're catching nothing per trip. But anyways, I really do appreciate each one of your subscriptions. If you guys are new to the channel, you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate everybody watching, and hopefully we'll catch you in the next one with some more action.